Good morning, Tim. You should already know me by now, hopefully. What we're going to discuss is I'm going to show you the different types of corners. You're going to physically come out here and with 2x4 material make the same corners. Now, homes aren't made with 2x4 anymore for the most part. It's always 2x6, but because of the expense and how much wood we go through, we're using 2x4. All right, but the theory is the same. All right, so we're going to show you how to what makes up the corners, the different corners. They're all proper corners. It just depends on your contractor or how they came up in the business. All right, one uses less insulation, the other one is better use of the insulation. Also, we're going to show you the chop saw, all right, or the compound miter saw, and how that works again, just to remind you, all right? Okay, so let's start. Let's start with the California corner, all right? Now you're going to be making one of these. Yours, you just follow the instructions. You're going to use 2x4 by 4 feet long, all right? Don't hard nail them because you can reuse them for the next project or the next corner, all right? So here we have our typical 2x4 wall layout. Now, realistically, we know it's 2x6, but because of the cost of materials, you're doing it in 2x4. But the process is still laid out. Remember, your base plate, all right, is bolted down to the subfloor or to concrete, whatever. So here we got a corner, and this is the new, what they say, California corner. A lot of people go by that. And the reason for this is that it's much more efficient as far as sealing the house up, all right? You'll notice that there's no cracks in this. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut your boards, you're gonna make this, and then remember that one of the face boards are going on one side of your base plate, and the other one is on the other side. So therefore, you have this corner where you can hook up the sheetrock, but at the same time, if you're putting insulation in there, there's no gaps. All right, that's the main purpose behind that. Now here's the old version that they talk about in the book as well. All right, you see these gaps here. All right, now you got to come back and fill it in with stuffing, and it isn't as good. All right, here's the bottom, and this is going to go on one side of the 2x4, and this is going to go on the other side of the 2x4, where you still have the availability to put the sheetrock in there and screw it. All right, so now we go to put this in, and you see how that hooks up to it. Just like the other one, the only difference is this is not as energy efficient, okay? Now remember, whatever you're doing with our lumber, all right, when you're done, you're gonna have to cut it up, all right? So please be sure that you cut it up in small enough pieces, probably foot-long sections, and avoid the nails. Okay, now, here we have the partition wall. This is a partition that this is extending or coming into another wall in the middle of the house, let's say. Okay, so remember, it's always 2x6. We're just using 2x4 for simplicity. All right, but you'll notice that it takes 4 2x4s, 4 foot long, to make this. All right. Inside, you got, or here you got the 2 outside studs, the inside stud that makes kind of a U-shaped channel box, and then you add one more, which would be the wall coming into it. Let's say it's dividing the bedrooms or something like this. So now you can put your sheetrock up against here and you got something solid to nail to. All right, partition wall. All right, you're going to be doing that. We're going to discuss a little bit about headers. There's different types of headers, all right, just as well as there is headers above windows versus headers above doors. Headers above windows, most all the construction I see out there now is always solid wood. All right. I mean, yes, you can make it up with your 2x6s with a piece of 1/2 inch plywood in between. But remember, when you're doing it with 2x6, you got to put it on its edge. Don't build it with two 2x6s here with a piece of 1/2 inch in the middle of OSB, because that isn't strong. This is strong. All right. So if you realize, if you put another 2x6 up here, you got 3/4 of an, or 1/2 inch, excuse me, 1/2 inch that you got to fill with something, and that's that OSB. So if you're in a tight jam, this and this, well, if you ran out of this, you can build it from this. It's not preferred, okay? Most guys are just doing this because it's easy. It's one couple cuts, throw it up there, it's all good to go. We got a 4x6 here. Normally there'll be 6x6s, all right? And they can go out longer and they can have a better load-bearing status, all right? So over your doors, over your windows, then you'll have your cripples on top of here, all right? Now the cripples can be 2 feet high or they can be 6 inches. It'll just depend on the project that you're doing, all right? But just think about that when you're doing it, okay? Now you'll notice that there's diagrams in this showing you how to lay this out, all right? And it's very easy to screw it up. But here's your studs in place. Now you're going to put down your first top plate, okay? That goes on there like that, and then this will butt up against it just like the bottom one, all right? Except that when you go to put your double plate on, that double plate, all right, is going to offset so that you've now bonded the whole program together, all right? Does that make sense? I hope it does. All right. I hope there's no real major questions about what's going on, but when you get out here, be sure that your tools are in your work area for 145. Gloves, glasses are always a necessary, all right? And then be sure that you build it. Now you can use the nailing gun, you can use a hammer and nails, but either way, I would like, when you get done with that, you need to cut them in 1 foot sections. And be careful about the nails. Pay attention to where you're putting the nails, all right? One slip with the saw, and the blade's no good, and you may even hurt yourself, all right? So please take the time, know the different types of headers and where they go, know the different types of corners. You're going to have to identify them eventually, all right, in this part of the exercise. But remember, even though we are only doing it in 2x4, houses are built with 2x6, all right? And always look, it depends on how much money you got to spend and how much time. Thank you, be safe, enjoy the time.